Hello YouTube, this is Weston's Toys and Collectibles, and today we're going to look at the Transformers Earthrise War for Cybertron Trilogy Leader Class astrotrain. So you can see nice open window here on the front. Got the same artwork on the side as all the other Earthrise figures have had. On the back you got some obligatory product shots. You got robot mode, shuttle mode, train mode, and then shuttle base mode. And then on this side, unlike the Siege version, which is the same exact figure, just different packaging, the Siege version showed him in robot mode. This shows him in his shuttle mode attached to the shuttle base. So that's it for the packaging. So let's go ahead and take a look at the instructions. So the instructions here, I'm not sure what the Siege instructions look like, but these are your typical Earthrise instructions. He transforms from robot to shuttle in 19 steps. He transforms from shuttle to train in 17 steps. And then he has a few other transformation gimmicks that have to do with the accessories. So now we can bring the camera down a little bit, sorry, shaky. And here he is in his train mode. He rolls really well. This thing is painted really nicely as well. So this is paint here, this purple on this trailer section, on the tinder, or whatever you want to call it. It has this like gunmetal gray paint here, like purple paint all along the top, and then side sections, more gunmetal paint here. This is a black matte paint, which is nice. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this section for now. You can see, you know, the gunmetal and the silver here on the back. Make sure this is all the way down. Everything's lined up right. And of course, this side's basically the same. You got Tampographed Decepticon logo here. Nice silver for the light. So pretty cool little locomotive here. Underneath you can see pretty much, you know, the chest, the front of the legs, his head. But otherwise, not a bad little locomotive mode. For comparison, here he is with the Earthrise hoist. So you can see him compared to a deluxe figure. And then, real quickly, I'm going to go ahead and transform this guy real quick because he's right here. Here he is with the Transformers Titans Return astrotrain. Once I get him in train mode. Should have prepared. Unprofessional. Alright. Okay. Here he is with the Titans Return astrotrain in its train mode, which not a great figure, guys. It's not a very good figure. It looks like crap. So I'm so glad to get this out of my collection soon. I'm going to go ahead and transform him into his shuttle mode for the next segment. Anywho, so this new astrotrain comes with quite a few accessories. He comes with this whole thing here that's just full of guns. Pretty cool little touch, and it attaches as a tinder in train mode, as I showed earlier. it can sort of attach to the back of the shuttle if you wanted it to. Yeah, it's just got these three little pegs here. Let me bring the camera down a bit more. There we go. Got these three pegs here that go into the thrusters back here. This guy is compatible with siege effects parts, so let me go ahead and grab a couple of these. You can see, you can just stick these in here. He also has some pegs here that you can plug effects parts onto if you wanted to do that. You can't really plug anything in here. These aren't 5mm ports. I wish it was a 5mm port. That way you could just like plug, you know, either this or some of the smoky ones that came with Omega Supreme into it, just to kind of give it like smoke look. But you know, these got some, you know, pegs there, ports there, pegs here. He's got a few pegs across the top. You can plug it into various spots. This isn't technically, this is more for transformation, but you can use that as a peg to attach it to. That's about it for the train. On this one, you can see there's like some 5mm ports here. You do have a spot here for an effects part, just kind of like a thruster. I think that's about it for that too, for this mode. Go ahead and cover the accessories. So he comes with this, and it opens up like so, and stores all of his weapons, all of his guns. So he comes with two of these guns. They're almost identical, except they have a peg on the opposite side of each other. As you can see. It's got two handles here. So there's those. He's got this one, which is like the front half of his signature rifle, the G1 toy came with. And then this looks like the back half of that rifle. And those can plug in together like this to form that G1 signature rifle. Just kind of plug together like that. And then you can also plug these on to the sides of this. And then this one is just like a little missile pod. And it's also effects compatible, so you can put, you know, your effects parts on here. Be nice for a stop motion. You could just, you know, plug it and unplug it for each shot. Pretty cool. But this can also plug onto the bottom of this weapon. So that's all the weapons combined like that. Combo weapons like this never really did it for me. So I'll typically, you know, either have him just hold this big blaster in the middle, or just, you know, this one here, or just this one, or these, you know, as singular weapons. But that's that. Also, this is effects compatible on all of the guns here. That one is, this one. It's kind of loose, but it's a 5mm port. Just kind of loose. And this gun here is got a little 3mm plug in it. So you can plug those in like that. There's also, on the back of these ones, you have some effects parts posts also, so if that's any use for you. As for this, this is just like this base here. This is a shuttle base. You can lift this up and bring these forward, and that's like his transport mode. You put the shuttle on there. I'll show that here in a little bit. That's kind of weird. And then these two pieces, when we get to robot mode, I'll show how those come off and become like feet extensions, I guess. I'm going to set this off to the side, and now we can focus on the train here. You can attach, there's, you know, 2 ports here on top if you wanted to attach his guns anyway like that. You know, just if you want. So transformation to shuttle mode, pretty straightforward. There are a few things that you kind of have to undo to redo, which is kind of weird, but it makes sense when you see it. So go ahead and undo the front here. You want to pull these out to the side. They're on a double hinge inside here. And you want to separate this as well and push these up until they click all the way up. And then you want to fold the smokestack and light in. And then you just reattach those. When you reattach those, you want to go ahead and flip this around, just like on the G1 toy. And then close this back up. These panels come down, plug in, both sides. That's half of it done. The back half, you want to go ahead and pull these panels around. Fold them all the way back. And you want to flip these wing tips up and fold the wings down, like so. Now this is all a gap here, so what you do to fill that gap in is you pull up these panels here on the side. Just this panel, there's a little clip there. Pull that up. You want to pull the thrusters back and off the arms here, because you gotta have this a little separated. And pull the chest up, flip out this tail fin, and his elbows here have clips on them. They'll clip onto this chest piece, and then this will snap in between the arms. And then you want to bring this back up and have it back in. So make sure everything's lined up properly, and there is his shuttle mode all done. It's the weakest mode of this whole figure, so all this is kind of a mess back here. I've seen some people do different things with all this, just covering it with the weapons, or who was it? Was it Pia, I think? Took this part and flipped it underneath and then put the foot parts on here, which, I mean, it looks decent. It just, I don't think it works as well as he probably does. So but yeah, that's, you know, that's his shuttle mode, and it's not terrible, it's passable. This paint is clearly, like, in the light you can tell this paint is clearly not the same color as the plastic, and then the gloss versus the matte finish, it just kind of throws it off. I think they could have done a matte finish on this and it would have looked a lot better. Trying to figure out if this purple here is paint. It feels like paint. It feels different than the plastic, so I'm pretty sure that's paint as well. So that's pretty cool. And these little details painted here is a really nice touch. Kind of breaks up all this monotony of gray. I do like this on this figure because it's kind of like re-entry burns. But I wish they would have, like, put it on the wings as well, in the nose cone. Being which his cockpit is really nicely painted as well. I like the silver paint around here, this purple, and the gray paint, which matches the wing paint. So, you know, you got this glossy gray, and then you got all this matte, and then you got the silver. It's kind of messy, but it's not too bad. And then the thrusters are now oriented properly. So, like I said, the instructions show this being like a transport for the shuttle. It just sits on there. Literally just sits there. And it doesn't sit there well unless you like flip this around and back like this, which it doesn't tell to do in the instructions. But yeah, then it sits a little bit better. But still, if it would have tabbed in, it would have been a lot better. Tabbed in somehow. But no, it's just, I think it's just kind of a cop out. They're like, oh, well, you can do this as well with the base. What you really want to do though with this base is you want to flip this around like so and put him on there like that. And just fold out to the sides. And then if you want, you can stick the weapons on him all over the place. So like, I know like the box shows these weapons on the wings. Well, it shows them like that, but it doesn't work. There's not enough clearance there. So I don't know why they'd show that on the, show it like that on the box. I guess it works, but it like angles it back. You see that? Yeah, that's how it shows like in the box art. On the back it does show them on the wings up here though. Like this. So, and then, you know, these weapons just plugged in all over the place on the shuttle. Like so. I mean, if you like that. I don't like a bunch of weapons all over the shuttle, so what I'll do is I'll just like make them like weapon emplacements here on the base. And like pull these off here. These can kind of go here too if you want. So I put those on like that. And as for this, it just kind of plug it on the bottom of the shuttle. And there you go. Looks pretty cool. Now this shuttle, this astrotrain shuttle, has me stoked, especially since I've seen a review, Prime versus Prime review, of the new Siege, not Siege, but Earthrise Skylink's coming. That looks like a great figure. And if it's anywhere near as good as this or Jetfire, it's definitely going to be a good figure. So, and just watching the review that Prime vs. Prime did, it looks really great. So, I'm going to go ahead and pull these accessories off and set this off to the side. Also, you know, you can attach other figures that have the airlock system clips on there. So here's hoist. It's a really tight connection. Yeah, here's hoist, you know, attached to there. So that's a thing you can do. Now bringing the old Titan's Return astrotrain, you can definitely see, you know, this is definitely a more G1 astrotrain. This is whatever liberty they decide to take with it, but yeah, this guy's gonna be finding a new home because I just like this new astrotrain so much better, and it was definitely my objective to buy this and replace that one. So I'm very happy with this. I was not happy with that from the beginning when I first got it. So Now I guess the only thing we have left to do is to transform him into his robot mode. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do something similar. Well, we're going to start with the legs. So basically we're just going to pull these out like you did transforming from train to shuttle. Instead of flipping this around, we're just going to pull these straight down and clip them into place. And now separate the legs. Come back here to these and flip out the feet, and they will tab into the side of the leg, which is nice. Tab it nice and solidly. And then come up here to the hip skirts and fold them down. This one's kind of tight, and I'm actually going to show this here because there's some significant stress marks on this part and on this part, and I think it might have been punched through wrong. The pin might have been punched through and this wasn't properly aligned or something, but this side's like really tight. This side's fine, but this side's like really tight to move up and down and get clipped into place and get unclipped. So I'm guessing it's probably just the pin was punched through and it wasn't properly aligned. Alright, so come on up to the top here, because right now he's kind of tall. So pull this off and fold it back. There's a clips here and clips here. You want to make sure to line those clips up together, and then you can push it in, and that way it's, you know, clipped together. Bring these out and bring the whole backpack down, which is kind of like the old classics figure, I guess, which I like, kind of like that little touch. You can bring the wings back if you want, which I like to just have the wings angled back. Bring the arms out so it can unclip from the tail fin. Bring the whole chest down and plug that all in, and then bring these panels around and plug them in, and that locks the chest in place. You can bring the arms out, flip out the fist, and rotate at the bicep. Same on the other arm, rotate at the bicep, and then the arms will come down and they will clip solidly into place, just like so. And there is Earthrise Astrotrain in his robot mode. I'm going to go ahead and bring this camera down again because he's short now. Alright, so here is the Earthrise Astrotrain, and he looks really nice. Oh, I forgot to take this, bend it in, and then so it's kind of angled. You don't have to do that, but it just kind of finishes off and makes it look different than it did in shuttle mode. So yeah, there's Astrotrain, and he looks so nice. Go ahead and get into his articulation. His head's on a ball joint, so it rotates all the way around. He can look up like that far, not very much. He can't look down very well either. His shoulders are on a universal. They go all the way around out to there. You can break the sculpt and bring it all the way up, but it doesn't look good, so just kind of stick with that far out. Excuse me. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow for at full range, and then the wrist can just go up and down due to transformation. He does have a waist swivel, which is really appreciated. As I mentioned earlier, the wings can move back and forth if you want them to. The wingtips can also move due to transformation. So I sometimes like to have them kind of bent in like that. It just kind of gives it more of a dynamic look in the wings. These hip skirts can move out of the way for leg articulation. They can kick forward that far, kick back that far, which is a good a good range. It's a realistic range. Full splits, so that's nice. Rotation at the thigh, which is kind of tight. Single hinge knee, less than 90 degrees. And then if you untab it, you can kind of get the foot to, you know, like that. But if you keep it tabbed in, you can get an ankle rocker about that far. So you can get a wide A stance like that. It's not bad. Not bad articulation at all. Now I'm going to go ahead and do some comparisons. Here he is with the Transformers Siege Megatron. So you can see he's a little bit shorter than Megatron, which is alright because I think this is a good scale according to the Sunbow chart, robot mode wise. Astrotrain's kind of fallen into that pocket of nobody knows really what size he should be, due to the fact that his vehicle modes are massive and his robot mode is so small. Just the mass shifting thing. I don't think he should be big enough for other Transformers to fit in him. I think he should be big enough to match size of like a regular locomotive, but not, you know, I mean, shuttles are huge too, so I guess that's something as well. But here he is with a fellow Flyboy. Here he is with the Earthrise Starscream. I think that's a good scale. Here he is with his fellow Triple Changers, Blitzwing. And Octane. And I'll talk about this here in a minute because, yes, these guys do seem a little big for this lineup. And he seems a bit small. That's where these come in, these shoes. You can take them off and use these to make him a bit taller. And there he's a bit close. He's about the same height as Octane now. Yeah, he's about the ssame height as Octane now. And then as for Blitzwing, the Sunbow chart does have Blitzwing being taller than Astrotrain. But what I like to do with Blitzwing is I like to just kind of collapse his knees down. Just, you know, like that. It kind of throws his proportions off a little bit, but it makes him a bit better scaled with everybody else. He does seem a little too short now, so, you know, just kind of bring him back up a little bit, but there they all are, and they're about the same height now in this configuration, which works for me. Yeah, see with Blitzwing though, because he just seems like he should be, they should probably come out with a slightly shorter Blitzwing because he's only supposed to be like a head taller than Starscream, according to the Sunbow chart. So this is about the height he should be, but properly transformed, you know, he's a fair bit taller than Starscream. Starscream like looks right into the middle of his chest, so I think if they made a Blitzwing that's similar to this, but maybe with a transforming head rather than a Titan Master, that would be great. I think just make him a little bit shorter, maybe with a swivel in the waist, But yeah, I do think these guys look good together. And then pulling these guys out of the picture, here he is with, I'm going to go ahead and leave his shoes on for now because I'm going to bring in Leader Shockwave on his hover thing. So you can see, you know, if I took these off the hoverboard, you can see Shockwave's slightly taller. But like I like to have this as the hovercraft on Shockwave. It just kind of works better for me. I don't like the four-armed super mode Shockwave look. We're getting kind of long on this video, so let me go ahead and show him real quick with his predecessor. And there's not even words to describe how much I don't like the Titan's Return version. And I've owned this mold twice, and it just, I kind of gave up hope on Hasbro releasing a decent astrotrain figure, and bought this one just for them to come out a couple years later with this really nice Earthrise astrotrain or Siege astrotrain, whichever version you end up getting. But there he is with that astrotrain, and the colors are just off on this. I know the Takara version looked better color-wise. It was more this color on here. You know, these shoes are kind of weird. He's really wobbly in his hips. I don't know, it's just kind of like he has this like weird lean where he's just kind of like never wants to stand up straight. And then the colors are off. His head seems disproportionately small to his body. So this is definitely a good replacement, even though it was like twice the price of that previous figure. I'm going to go ahead and show him with Ultra Magnus real quick as well. So you can see, you know, Ultra Magnus is a much bigger leader figure, much heavier as well. So this guy would have been much better price-wise for, you know, the amount of material you get, the heft of the figure. I mean, if you take all this and all his weapons and stuff, it might be about the same, but definitely between Ultra Magnus and astrotrain, Ultra Magnus is the better deal. But and then finally, you can use this as a shield. He can like put it on his arm as a shield, or you can put it on his back as like a cape, I guess, or as like a backpack to store his weapons in. Which it works, I guess, but it's not the best thing. Let me go ahead and put all his weapons back in here. This is why I'm kind of leaving this for last, because it's not really that great of a gimmick for robot mode, but you know, just say put all the weapons in there like that and just plug that onto his back as like a backpack. That's why these huge heel spurs on here. So you know, now if you like if I were to pick both of these up, they feel about the same weight. So you know, that's where a lot of the weight is in this here. So it's up to your discretion of how worth the price this guy is. I think he's definitely worth the price, considering you're getting like a Voyager figure with a lot of accessories. Good, articulation, good engineering in this figure. He transforms smartly. And then he has like a waist swivel, which is always a plus in my book. That's always a plus. So yeah, so I recommend him. But I think the price is up to your discretion. If you want to wait for like a cheaper price, that's definitely an option to pick. But at $50, is he quite worth it? If you really want him, yeah. Anything more than that, it's not really worth the price. But $50, yeah, go for it. So this has been my review. I know it's kind of been a long one. So thanks for sticking through. If you made it this far, like, subscribe, and this has been my review of the Transformers Earthrise astrotrain. Thanks for watching, and until next time, until all are one.